Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Something custom can con så bättre con så felino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in, as always, to Wanna Bet. It is our special Monday edition with our buddy Eric Casilius. I'm Jason. That's Ben. We're here 7 days a week. EK is with us on Mondays. You can find all of us on the Super Discord, which gives you access to every pick we make. As soon as we make it, we register it, log it, tell you how to get in on it in the Super Discord. If you're new to the show, we give you our favorite plays right now since yesterday's show, because, again, there pretty much always is a show yesterday. First, second, and third down are three favorite plays. Fourth and long, could be fourth and long. Could be a long shot bet. Could be a long-term bet like a future. It also could be fourth and short. Again, we're working on a new graphics package. We're going to have a lot of bells and whistles coming. But it also could be something to get you paid early in a game, so you don't have to sit through all of it. Overtime, we give you football parlays every day because it's football seasons. And we're at football season. Well, I guess seasons. College, pro, CFL, and international soccer. And we are also fully transparent. We keep score here, and we show you how we did. It was a treading water Sunday for me in the NFL. I can't get back totally on the good foot, but Beltway Ben is just destroying things now. So I'm going to shut up and let Beltway Ben tell you why you should bet with him.
Yeah, it starts early in the week with the Broncos. I like the Broncos on the money line. I like the Broncos to cover. They're down 14. I thought for sure they weren't going to do either, and there they come right back into the game. Kendry Miller, felt good about him. He didn't get going early, turned it on late. Cade Otton cashed us in the first quarter. Trevion Henderson was the one loss that we had in our first three downs yesterday. I know we also lost the first I thought Derrick Henry was going to have a long run. They tried to give it to him late. He just couldn't bust anything. That I'm probably not going to be playing Derrick Henry props for until Lamar Jackson's back, at least. And then all week, I mean, we hit a big parlay close to 6-1. I told people I thought the Patriots had a real shot to win last night. Didn't give it out. Did not count that in my units. Didn't count in my record. But I did tell people I thought New England could win that game outright. Sure as hell they did. Told people consider playing plus 8.5. I thought that was a big number. So that was good. But, yeah, all the way around. I mean, we cashed two parlays. We cashed a bunch of plays from earlier in the week. Sam Laporta, another guy who he'd been pretty quiet this year except for week one. Then he goes to Cincinnati. And as I said, we're going to continue to attack Cincinnati with tight ends. And it's helped us so far. I think it's going to continue.
Excellent. And EK, how is everything going on the Super Discord? Oh, did we lose EK?
I'm here. I got you.
How's everything going on the Super Discord?
It's going great. It's so much fun. You guys have absolutely killed it. I'm killing it as well. 6-2 in college this weekend. 11-4 in the NFL yesterday on Sunday. And the best part is everyone posts all their wins. Everybody congratulates everybody on the wins. It's been such a positive community, and you're getting so many tips and all the picks, and it's just been terrific and winning. So if you scan that QR code, you just jump aboard, you check it out, and you'll be able to see exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. And we're making everybody sharp, smart advantage bettors.
Excellent. And as our Monday guest, you have the honors, EK. Where are you taking us on first down, buddy?
All right, I'm going to go to Xavier Worthy, and I'm going to play over the receiving yards. I'm not a big over player, and I don't like yards. I generally like receptions and carries and attempts better because they're more quantifiable.
Yeah.
Playing yards over or under can largely be some guy slips, some guy falls. They don't throw a penalty flag. They don't interfere with you because pass interference yards don't count. It seems to be a little more random. But I do like Worthy in this spot. Now, the number was up at 58.5. Then there was some reports that he had some swelling in the ankle, came all the way down to 51.5. Now we're finding out he's going to play, and it's climbing quickly. It's already at 53, 54, 55. Some books are already back to 58.5, and you got to grab it now. But I look at what he's doing. The way you're going to attack Jacksonville is you're going to throw on them. And people like Nico Collins, even when the teams have not played well, the number one, the fast receivers, the most targeted receivers have eaten against Jacksonville. So I'm going to isolate how you attack Jacksonville and figure that Kansas City is smart enough to know it. And that means giving Worthy chances tonight. And if he just gets one or two where people can't tackle him because he's so fast or over the top, we could clear this in one play.
Love it. Love it. Love it. First down for you, Beltway Ben, and the heater that you are on.
Yeah, we're going to go with RB2 in Jacksonville. Bashal Tutin over 20.5 rushing yards. I think this number is too low given the situation that they're facing. 4 for 14 week 4, 6 for 21 week 3, 8 for 42 week 2, and 3 for 11 in week 1. It's kind of all over the place. To win this game, I think they're going to have to dominate on the ground, which a lot of teams have against Kansas City. They're second to last in the NFL against EPA against the run defensively. You look at some of the matchups. Scatabo, 10 for 60. And they knew he was getting it because Russ was terrible. They were able to stack the box, and he was still able to get off. Saquon hasn't been good at all running. By the way, we will be on him Thursday. But 22 for 88. He hasn't been good running against anybody, really. They've been able to stack him up, force the pass there. He got going a little bit. So I don't think you could have Trevor Lawrence drop back and throw the ball 30, 40 times. They might do it. But again, I think Tutin will make the most of his carries. He's probably going to get somewhere 4 to 10, somewhere around there, 4 to 8 maybe. We need him to break one, and I think he can against this Kansas City defensive front.
We're all somewhat correlated here. First down, I'm going to Etienne carries. I'm going over the 14.5. I think this is a close game. I think this is an under game. Trevor Lawrence is the weak link in Jacksonville right now, and we'll get a little bit more to him in overtime. But talking to people who work in this division, advanced scout in this division, they think Liam Cohen and the defensive coordinator there in Jacksonville have a pretty good template going, and it's based on volume in the run game, limiting the damage that Lawrence can do against you, and winning with defense and a little bit of help from special teams. And going to Arrowhead, I don't think that changes at all. Maybe Spags run blitzes a bunch and he tries to take away the efficiency of this run game, which is pretty potent right now. I think Jacksonville's got a top 5 offensive line, and it doesn't matter what I think. Scouts and executives I talk to thinks Jacksonville has a top 5 offensive line. The centers getting to the second level. They're road grading people, but I'm not going yards here. I'm going carries. I believe Liam Cohen, who's implementing the Sean McVay run game, is going to do what he can to keep Lawrence in short and manageable and live with some 3 and 2 and 4 yard carries. I think Etienne will get the bulk of them. I do think there's enough volume in the run game to go around for others. And as Beltway Ben noted, that's a number I can live with. He's over this in 3 of the 4 games. Second down, Ben.
Yeah, I'm going to get to ETN in third down. I do like a different prop with him. But second down here, we will go to Isaiah Pacheco, and this is going to be a pretty common theme here, running backs catching the football. Isaiah Pacheco over 6.5 receiving yards, minus 110. You know the risks you're taking with running backs because if a screen gets blown up in the backfield, you always have that possibility to get -3, -4. And if they do cash at some point, you never want to celebrate because there's always those second half screens that get blown up. I'm well aware of it for running back receiving yards, but we will take this risk here. He's got like 9 or 10 targets on the year in just 4 games. He's gone over this twice, 7 and 13. I do think they're going to get it to him underneath. Jacksonville's allowing like 42 receiving yards to running backs per game, and it's not just one explosive game that we've seen. It's been pretty consistent that running backs are getting heavily featured. Andy Reid's propped Mahomes up in the passing game, and I think he's going to continue to. He finally started getting off a little bit last week against the Ravens. Us 3 and 8 others probably would be able to figure it out against that Ravens defense right now. But I do think Jacksonville's going to take away the deep ball, and Mahomes has been very good with that. As long as completion is cashed in like 3 or 4 games. So I don't know that Jacksonville allows that, but I do think there'll be some easy throws for Mahomes. And Isaiah Pacheco is a weird player. You're risking it here because Kareem Hunt's on the field because he's pretty good with run blocking sometimes. I get it, but Pacheco's more explosive. I do think Pacheco catches a few passes today. 2 should get us over this.
Second down for me. We're jumping this Thursday night game, and I'm going to pay a little juice here. I want to get it over 44 because, damn it, this might just be a 24-20 type game. Why do I like the under so much in this game? Well, the Giants are 26 and 13 to the under since the start of 2023. The Giants are 16-7 to the under in their last 23 games. The Giants, since 2018, in September and October, are 39-18-1 to the under. 11-7 to the under against the division in September or October since 2018. Last 21 Giants home games against division opponents, 14-7 to the under. Last 15 Giants home games against the division, 12-3 to the under. One of those 15 games went over 44 points. Philadelphia's 7-4 to the under, their last 11 within the division. 4-1 to the under, their last 5 on the road in the division. 4 of the last 5 games between these teams have gone under, but the Giants defense gives me a little pause. Do I think in a short week this is the time that the Eagles get their offense all put together? No, but it could be. So as this number plummets, let's, if you're with me, go over 44. If it's down there around 42.5. Again, do I think it could be under 40 with Jackson Dart in triage mode against a Vic Fangio defense? Could be, but I'm willing to pay a little juice early in the week here and get it so that 44 can't beat me. EK, second down.
I'm in on that. I'm going to go Isaiah Pacheco and under 8.5 carries in this spot. His share of running the ball is dwindling and has been dwindling sort of every week when you look at it. He was 50-50 with Kareem Hunt week 1. By the way, they each only had 5. Week 2 was the one week they let Pacheco try. He had 10 carries and didn't go anywhere with 22 yards. Then he had another time even with Hunt. And then last week, Hunt had twice as many carries. I don't see Pacheco getting to 9 carries in this game. You can't run on Jacksonville. There's a lot of things they don't do well, but they do this well. They stop the run. When I look at Jacksonville and what they've done this year, they played good running backs. They played Carolina, who has Hubbard, Juba Hubbard, and Dowdle. Those guys didn't go anywhere. They played Christian McCaffrey last week. He didn't go anywhere. They played Chase Brown, under 50 yards. The entire running back rooms of all the team they played, nobody's gotten to 80 yards against this group. I don't see how Hunt and Pacheco are going to go anywhere tonight, and I don't see a game script where Pacheco's going to get it 9 times. Ferris Bueller, 9 times. He's not getting there. Under 8.5. I think this goes down during the day. I looked at the yards for Hunt and Pacheco because I want to slide under. They're in the 20s. People are figuring it out. You can't run on Jacksonville, and I don't see Pacheco getting close to double-digit carries when he's not even the lead guy in a backfield with a team that's not going to try to run it tonight.
Jacksonville, number 1 in the NFL per True Media's rush defense success rate, 74%.
They're terrific.
That's a crazy number. Third down. Quinny P. Quinny P. You always cash for me. Freddie P did too on the Super Discord. I get it. Quinny P is not starting today, but I think they're going with Ashby to then bring in Quinny P. And when Quinny P pitches, the Milwaukee Brewers have won 19 of the last 20 games. Quinny P at home, really good. Cubs live and die with the home run ball. Quinny P, elite ground ball pitcher. And again, I think Ashby could get 3. Ashby might give him 2 1/3, 2 2/3. Wouldn't shock me. I'm also fading Imanaga. I had to double check my notes while EK was talking. That's why I looked at my phone. Because I wrote this down twice, but it still can't be right. Imanaga gave up 10 home runs in the month of September. He gave up 5 in August. He gave up 9 in July. His fly ball rate's not good to begin with. There's no wind coming in from Wrigley Field in Milwaukee. And this is a guy they just tried to protect last series and go with an opener. My concern with teams that are on the sort of bye in the Major League playoffs is that they come out after not hitting in a week and they look like garbage and the at-bats aren't good and the timing's off. What did the Brew Crew do in the first inning? They kicked the shit out of the ball because they're the Brew Crew. Quinny P, Quinny P, Quinny P, come on and cash for me. Third down, EK.
I'm going right to my guy, and that's Patrick Mahomes. And I know this is a little bit of a public play, But if my game script and my math and my whole play charts and all the ridiculous things that I do, which keeps me up at night, leads me to believe you cannot run the ball against Jacksonville and that they're not going to try. I see what Kansas City does in these situations, and they just say to 15, go win it, dude. Our season's on the line. We can't run it. It's on you. And I look at the attempts, and we're at 35.5 in a lot of books. And again, this is about half the books have 36.5, half the books have 35.5. You can find enough 35.5. But when I look at what Kansas City has done, he threw it 49 times week 1 in Brazil. All right. And when they run their 60-plus plays, you look at the number 37 times and 37 times. If they run the expected amount of plays, there is almost no way he can be under this number. And that's including him rushing and running with his legs, which are not pass attempts. I already took those out. There's really not a game script where he can be under this unless they run 50 plays, which I don't see happening. So give me Mahomes over attempts. I look at everything everybody tries to do against Jacksonville. And when I look at those numbers, 35, 45, 38, 38. Those are the pass attempts against Jacksonville this year. And that's Brock Purdy. That's Bryce Young. That's Cincinnati with Jake Browning, and because they got hurt in the middle of the game, Joe Burrow did. And that's even Houston, which doesn't really do much offensively with C.J. Stroud. Everybody's over this number. Why wouldn't Mahomes be? It's the best bet on the board.
Third down, Beltway, Ben.
Yes, my favorite play of the day here. Travis Etienne over 9.5 receiving yards. Cleared this in weeks 1 and 2 and has not since. 3 catches for 13 in week 1, 2 catches for 18 in week 2. Then he's combined for just 1 catch for 1 yard the past 2 weeks. Now go look at what Kansas City has done against running backs, especially of late. When you look at the last 2 games, Justice Hill, pass catching back, had a big day catching the football. Then you look at the week before, Cam Scatterbo. Not only did he get it going on the ground, but he also caught a number of passes for 61 yards. I think Trevor Lawrence, when he does throw the ball, I don't know that we're going to be throwing it down the field a ton. I think easy throws. Brian Thomas Jr. might have a nice day, but I think it's a lot of short stuff to him, slants, stuff like that, easy throws there. And Etienne, an explosive back that can do it both in the run and pass game. Now, we've seen him really, really get off on the ground this year. I get that. But he also, you have to remember his roots. You have to remember what he did at Clemson. You have to remember what he's done since he's been in Jacksonville. And a lot of that is as a pass catching back. So I do think we have at least 2 screens for him. And he is one of those guys that when the ball is in his hands, if there is open field in front of him, he can make the big play. This is 1 10-yard catch. Again, I'm being very risky today because we have 2 running backs receiving yards. And I hate that with screenplays getting exploded in the backfield, shooting down -5. I fully get it, but I do think it could be more volume for Etienne where he catches maybe 2 catches for 10-plus yards. If he gets up to 20 receiving yards, I don't expect him to lose 10, but you never know. I do like him over 9.5 with how Kansas City's defense has played, how I think Cohen tries to protect Trevor Lawrence a little bit because turnovers in a tight one like this with the spread the way it is could be a big factor.
I want to go meaty here, but I don't want to put my mojo on you, but I like that play a lot. 4th and long or 4th and short, 4th and whatever. EK, what you got?
All right. I'm going to go to what I consider my old standard. The bet I probably made the most in my life has been first half unders. And first half under 23.5 or 24.5. 24.5 is a little too pricey tonight. I'm going to go first half under 23.5 in Monday Night Football. I gave 4th down. I want to give you one that cashes early. 4th and short is the way I took it. I just look at these 2 teams, and I think there's going to be a little bit of feeling each other out. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence in the red zone to just sit there and punch it home. I think they could kick some field goals. And at 23.5, field goals are your friends. Because even if you give up 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals, I still win because that's 23. So you're going to need to have 3 touchdowns and you're going to have to get a field goal tonight. I don't think you're getting 3 touchdowns in the first half. Give me under 23.5.
Ben, is it cool if I just jump in here and give mine since it's so close to his? Yeah, look, I'm playing the first quarter. I'll tell you, Bet Rivers has it at 9.5. I'm with EK. I think it could be field goals. They're trying to get Bader out of a little bit of a funk. Andy Reid knows he needs him. So I don't think he'll resist the urge to try long ones with him, even though he hasn't been good. Jacksonville trusts their kicker probably more than they trust their quarterback at this stage of the game. Kansas City has 8 offensive touchdowns in the first quarter of games since the start of the 2024 season. That's bottom 8 in the NFL. Jacksonville has 8 offensive touchdowns in the first quarter of games since the start of last season. Kansas City has just 3 first quarter touchdowns at home since the start of last season. So what am I saying? Field goals. If it's field goals, it's going to take 4 in the first quarter to beat me. I expect, again, Liam Cohen to have a conservative approach and let his defense lead the way early. And I do think Jacksonville's defense is very legitimate and will be a shock to the system. A little bit of Kansas City. And that, for me, even with Xavier Worthy, is still a bit of a middling offense. Another play I like here, I didn't play it yet. I might. First touchdown of the game to come more than 10 minutes of elapsed time. -110 at Bet365. So 10 minutes of game time expires before we get our first touchdown. I'm intrigued by that one. 4th and whatever, Beltway Ben.
Yeah, it'll be basically short. Xavier Worthy, 25 plus first half receiving yards, and Isaiah Pacheco, 5 plus first half rushing yards. That one is to get the plus money. I get it's risky. He has had 5 plus rushing yards in the first half all year. I don't think he has a big day. EK broke down his under, and I totally get it with the carries. He gets us 3 carries, 2 or 3 carries in the first half. He should be able to get 5. I'm not too worried there. 5 has been a number. Even he's had, first quarters where he doesn't even touch the football. Second quarter, he gets 2 to 3 carries and gets us there. So I think he'll get us there, even against, like you guys mentioned, one of the best run defenses in the NFL, probably the best. Xavier Worthy, I do like him. I like EK's breakdown with the regular number, and I was considering giving it out, but ultimately went with the 3 that I had. If you look at what Jacksonville has done against wide receiver ones, Jacksonville has done against wide receiver ones, it's pretty crazy. Nico Collins hasn't really gotten off a ton this year. We've seen some of his monster games through his career. He was able to break out. Jamar Chase, I know half of the game was with Burrow, some was without, still went off with Browning. So wide receiver ones have had their way. Xavier Worthy to Andy Reid is serious. We saw it in week 1 in LA. The first series, 2 plays, they were going to get him the ball, and he would have went for a ways against the Chargers. And they also had the end around they tried to get to him. He gets hurt, goes down for a little while, comes back against the Ravens last week and dominates. Again, that's partially on the Ravens defense, but Mahomes does like throwing the football his way. He trusts him. The big shot hasn't been there a ton. He did beat Marlon Humphrey for the big play there. I don't know that it needs to be for 25 plus in the first half. Xavier Worthy catches screens. Xavier Worthy catches slants and can run and do a lot of things. The risk here is the rushing ability. But when I broke down what he does on the ground and when it comes and things like that, I'm not too worried. I still think he gets us 25 in the first half. And I'm also kind of hedging for the second half. I don't know how that goes, but I do like him to be featured early and often. And as I said, I added Isaiah Pacheco to get us to plus 104.
Excellent. All right. Overtime. Parlay. EK.
All right. Here's my parlay. I'm a big correlated parlay guy. My parlays, I try to tell a story in my parlays. I'm not just saying, well, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. I figure, what's a legitimate game script? What can the story be? And if I put those elements together, how can I cash? So, if they rely on Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes has a pretty good night, not a great night, but just a pretty good night, and they realize they can't run it against Jacksonville, I think that's a pretty likely game script tonight. So, Patrick Mahomes, 280 passing yards. Patrick Mahomes, couple of touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, over the attempts of 35.5. That pays plus 470. So if he throws it 36 times, 2 touchdowns, and over 280 yards, we will get ourselves almost 5-1. So I am going to say that 15, whether they win or lose, it's going to be on his back and on his shoulders, and he's going to have some success. Look, if Kansas City's up 14-3 at halftime and they grind it out, I'll lose. But I don't care if I lose all 3. Losing 1 and losing all 3 is the same thing. But if I win 1, I have a really good chance to win all 3 because I'm telling the story that it's 15's night.
Beltway Ben, fourth and overtime. Sorry.
Yeah, it's my fault. I think I have the fourth graphic up still. Overtime here. There we go. Overtime, Xavier Worthy, 30-plus receiving yards. I just broke down why I think he would have 25 in the first half. We take it down to 30 just to get that there. Brian Thomas Jr., 4-plus receptions. Isaiah Pacheco, 1-plus reception. Tootin, 10-plus rushing yards, plus 179. Broke down those 3. Brian Thomas Jr. Now, fully get it. We got a lot of props riding here. I've got a bunch of different plays, a lot of guys involved. This one is where we take a risk a little bit because it was one that I went away from with Brian Thomas Jr. I don't have him as a regular prop play, but I do like him tonight to at least have a fine game. His number's 5.5, I think, receptions. All I need is 4. We saw them throw it a little bit shorter to him, and they're trying to build his confidence. He struggled with some drops. He's dealing with a wrist injury, whatever. He caught 5 passes last week against the 49ers for just 49 yards. They're not taking the shots down the field anymore to him as much as they once were. I think they're going to continue to build his confidence. And as I mentioned, easy throws for Lawrence to eliminate the interception. I think Brian Thomas Jr. just catches 4 passes is all we need. The rest of it I broke down. Isaiah Pacheco, we need one plus reception. He's done it in 3 or 4. Tootin, I do think, has a strong day on the ground, and then Worthy, 30-plus receiving yards. Again, I get it. Not everybody wants to go with all of these different props. You're always risking injury. That's how all of these things work. I totally get it. But this is a parlay that I put together that I felt pretty good about.
Excellent. Overtime for me, just a 2-legger here. We're going to take this total up. If I think this is a dead under game, and I do, and I jumped it early in the week, why am I taking it up? I'm taking it up because the thing that scares me about this not being an under game is Trevor Lawrence absolutely crapping his pants, throwing a pick 6, and giving away field position by holding the ball too long, strip sack, fumble, something like that. I'm taking it up to 52.5. But do I bet Chiefs unders at home like a mofo? I do. Why? Because they're 18-8 since the start of 22 at Arrowhead. Those games have closed on average at 47 and produced on average 42 points. I'm taking it 10 above that average point total of 42. That's a 26-game sample size. I'm taking it over that, and I'm playing the Lawrence interception because he's thrown 1 in 6 of his last 7, because he's thrown 1 in 8 of his last 10, because the body language with him and Cohen ain't good, because, to Ben's point, when he throws to Brian Thomas, it's 50-50 whose hands it's ending up in. Because Travis Hunter's a corner pretending to play wide receiver in the NFL, but they got to target him some because they bet the farm to move up and get him. Because they've lost some dependability at the tight end position. Because the quarterback is 25th in the league in turnover-worthy throws, and it's prime time against the Spags defense. And the Chiefs do have 3 picks in 4 games this year. So, why? And another reason why I like the under so much, the Jags are allowing a passer rating of 69.0 for the season. Yes, is it turnover, like heavy, 9 picks already? Yeah. Do I think Lawrence and Mahomes throw a pick tonight? I think it's possible. They've got active linebackers. The little pop passes to Kelsey, they're going to be all over it. Like, I don't think there's explosives in the Kansas City offense until Rice comes back. Is he playing in this one?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's an under game. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to get had by Spags a time or two. And I think both teams want to run the damn ball, but I don't know how successful Kansas City is going to do it. This is an upset alert for me. I think the Jags are very live here. That's our show. Those are our plays. Beltway Ben, again, because we're fully transparent here. Beltway Ben is kicking ass. We're back pushing towards 50 units up since we launched this show May 21st. Ben's doing the heavy lifting. He's the tugboat. He's pulling me along. We will get it cranked up again. I am going to lay off UEFA World Cup qualifiers. Ben, if I try to bet one, stop me. Throw the flag. Again, punch me in the face. Don't let me do it. Don't let me put one in this show. And EK, real quick, tell the people about the Super Discord.
It's where we make all of our picks. All 3 of us make all of our picks in one spot, and we make them in real time. We tell you exactly when you should fire, where you'll get the best number, what price you should pay, and what to do. We are crushing it. We are up so many units. We are up in every single sport. And we had another winning week this past weekend. So scan that QR code, join the Super Discord. We'll take care of you.
Cool. Ben, noon tomorrow, normal, I think.
Yep.
Cool. We'll see you guys at noon tomorrow. You want to bet, we want to bet. Thank you for wanting to bet with us.